What up, sus? Hey, what up, old timer? I'm gonna be listening to this as I cook and maybe while I game later on if you're still on. I'm gonna be playing Bioshock after we get done with this little thing that happened on the internet today. So apparently the Kids Act passed at 267 to 117. Now, the whole entire reason that I don't like this is because there's many preventative measures that can save kids from the internet. One, you could straight up parent better and keep your kids off the internet, because that's what my parents did when I was a kid. And two, I don't like this because you guys have these tech companies um, literally handed your personal freedoms over to a bunch of tech companies that just want to get filthy rich, and it's just retarded and stupid and ridiculous. According to Chibi's post, important censorship news: the Kids Act has passed within the House for the U.S. It received major bipartisan support with 267 to 117 votes. This will change the internet as we know it. The Kids Act is a package of around a dozen bills that pairs a revised Kids Online Safety Act with new age verification, AI chatbot, messaging rules, forcing the entire internet to implement age verification checks. This coming off of the back end of Discord trying to do this across its entire platform, and it failed twice already. Because every time that they implemented it, they noticed that users were leaving in droves, which I don't blame them. Um, uh, U.S. Republican Kathy Castor. The Kids Act passed in the House with bipartisan support, hand clapping, a long overdue step to rein in big tech and keep kids safe online. No, that's not true, because most of the people that came up with all of these tech provisions are the big tech companies like Facebook, X. It's not about our personal freedoms at all. Actually, out of all of the tech companies that had any say in it, actually Facebook and Meta, Facebook and Meta primarily had it in there, along with AI provisions too. Um, this important legislation strengthens privacy protections for children and teens, bans targeting advertisements to young people, gives families more control, and preserves parents' ability to seek justice in court. I'm proud of this important step. But the word to Proud of this important step, but the work to protect kids and teens online continues. Holy shit, I just lost it. I spent years in Congress working to pass legislation that will protect kids online, rein in big tech surveillance, and pleased to support the bipartisan Kids Act, which will strengthen youth privacy protections online, requiring big tech to design their products with kids' safety in mind, give young children and families better control, and preserve parents online going forward. I will keep working with my colleagues in the House and the Senate, parents, advocates, to ensure we enact the strongest possible laws to protect children and teens and hold big tech accountable. Or, what you could do is you could just like simply, parent your kids. I don't know. That might be a fucking option too. Instead of having guys like me put my private information in the hands of tech companies, you could actually parent your kids and teach them a little bit of discipline. But that's never a thought to anybody in Congress. See, this is a power grab for private rights. That's what this is. I've always, always, always been against Congress or the federal government having your guys' freedoms at all. And they should never have your freedoms. They should never be in control of things that you could personally do. This is on the same level as putting cameras in public bathrooms to protect kids in there and requiring anyone to scan their fingerprints to go into a restroom. Now, if that starts happening, dude, you will start seeing people in America start getting violent with the federal government. They don't have the balls to implement it that badly, but this is the start of it though, which is quite scary actually. Notice how with a majority of these people who are with a majority of these people who were for it, they're Republican women. And then you got this guy here who's old as balls, and he's been in the House for almost 20 years. Update: my bipartisan Kids Act passed the House today by an overwhelming vote of 267 to 117. Big Tech had a free pass for too long. Today that changes. No, it's not that Big Tech had a bunch of freedoms. You guys just put it now on all of us, the citizens, to keep accountability for these big tech companies, and you're not going to do anything about it. Okay? There's nothing that you're going to do about it to actually make it safe for anybody, which doesn't surprise me at all, because all you guys want to do nowadays with Gen Z is give the government more power instead of taking responsibility yourselves, which I find to be incredibly ironic. Here's another big old political bozo that I don't like. John Skeppy, his pin post for the day: the Screen Act just passed the House, 267 to 117. Yes, so the Kids Act, guys, Chibi is right. There's like 17 different bills in this bills package, and it passed 267 to 117 on the House floor. He took a picture of it and put it there. So far, it's got 68 likes to 192K views. He's also reposted Amy Swearer. Oh my gosh. I'm someone who's had it with censorship along with NGOs and neglectful parents, grifting morons like Jonathan had it, and calling out types like John Schwippy. God dang, dude. These people have more fucked up names than mine. Here is
at the heart of the progressive movement. They don't.
Here's a guy that went up against here's the kind of people he says that he's fighting, by the way.
At the heart of the progressive movement, they don't. This sounds so radical, it sounds so crazy, but we have to say what they believe outright. They don't believe there should be men. They don't believe that there should be women. They think that there should be infinite identities that anyone can choose from, and that to limit your identity as a man or limit your identity.
Rune, I wouldn't put it past any congressman at all. See, I don't trust the federal government at all. I'm jaded because I used to work for them and I know what they're capable of. 90% of Americans have never worked for Congress, the Senate, or the President of the United States. I've worked for all three. And I know that the power that they have, and I've been through a whole entire 8 years of a president that didn't give a flying fuck and just thought that drones were the solution to everything, but they weren't. And everything that the federal government does is for its own purpose and survival. This right here, this whole entire thing having to do with the kids, is to take accountability away from parents. And basically what you've done is you've given all of the massive power to the federal government. You have to use now the federal government to sue a tech company. You have to use the federal government to get any help whatsoever when it comes to a tech company being unjust. Basically, when you get banned, it has to go through the federal government. Content creators are going to get massively flagged by the federal government now in America just because of this one act. I don't care what it is. The federal government should have nothing to do with my Twitch and my Kick and my YouTube and my Rumble. They should have absolutely nothing to do with it. I should not have to give up what little information and amenity I have just to satisfy them, not, giving responsibility to parents. That should not happen.
As a woman, it actually causes society great harm.
I worked in the post office.
They're crazy, Steve. Being a man is a good thing. Being a man and knowing you're a man and having full.
One thing you have to keep in mind, Kodiak, is that freedom is not an innate human yearning. People do not yearn to be free. That is a naive belief. People yearn to be taken care of. That is the reason that the left wins all over the world. It's a deal with the devil. Give me your soul, give me your freedom, and I will give you benefits. Nope. I am 100% against that. I would not rely on the federal government to save my life at all because they'll be selfish the moment that the chips are down, and you're going to have to fend for yourself anyway. So you might as well just man up and deal with it and deal with problems yourself and learn how to do
confidence that
that.
you're a man is a really good thing, and the same thing goes for women. But at the heart of it, it's not about equality between men and women, it's about erasing men and women for the
I am
radical
as well.
left. At the heart of the progressive movement, they don't, this sounds so radical, it sounds so crazy, but we have to say what they believe outright. They don't believe there should be men. They don't believe.
Yeah. He's saying that he's for men, but then he's for, everybody being controlled by the federal government. It makes no sense, and it also goes to the theory of why there's so many rhinos sitting in the Senate and the House right now. And I don't like it. I hate it. I hate the fact that you've got a whole bunch of congressmen and senators and House reps in charge now of my internet security. I don't like that. I don't want that. Watch the next thing they are going to try from Emerald. Watch the next thing that they are going to try after this passes is they are going to make VPNs and end-to-end encryption illegal. She's probably right. There is a reason why we have gun if they want to stop me from saying what they won't. That's actually pretty valid. Damn, rip, it's all over. Where the fuck is Trump, and can't we get him to revoke this shit? There is a reason why Trump will not, and I say will not, veto this bill. Okay? There is a reason why he won't. He's got too many rhinos right now that he relies on to get his stuff passed. And unfortunately, a whole bunch of his rhinos voted for this. So he's going to let the bill go, probably, most likely. As a parent, I parent my kids. I keep track of what they do. Government is not in my best interest. Government's never been in your best interest. Even the founding fathers understood that, which is why they put checks and balances on the government, because they didn't want a tyrannical government stuffing things into people's faces like this. If you brought George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, if you brought those guys back to life and they were like, hey, why is this happening? Why are you telling the people what to do and babysitting them? That's not your job as the government. They would be very, very disappointed in this bill. Because unlike most lefts, I actually know American history, and all of those people that sent the original Declaration of Independence would be freaking upset at this. They would look at this as tyranny. They absolutely would, and I view it as tyranny personally. Government tyranny. That's all that this is. I don't like this. I hate this. I think that we shouldn't be doing this. And putting my identification with my real name and a license number. And what are rhinos? Rhinos are basically undercover Republicans that lean more left when votes come down to be voted upon in the Senate and the House. They put on paper they're Republican, but they always vote Democrat. That's a rhino. But I don't trust this, guys. If you guys are watching this, because most likely this will be on YouTube, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm really, really curious to hear everybody's thoughts in the in the comments. I really want to know where people stand on this one. Yeah, Republicans in name only, that's what a rhino is, yeah. Why is that even a thing? Because politicians are liars. They're natural liars by default. That's what makes them politicians. They're really good at lying to people. That's why there's rhinos. The left has the same thing, except the left has it in fewer number because the left will get violent with a person that ends up voting right. And it happens every single time, which is why you don't have the same thing going on in the left. Too many Democrats are scared to vote against Democratic policies. Not enough Republicans are scared to vote against Republican policy Republican policies. That is what a rhino is, not to be confused with the rhino from Ratchet and Clank. Yes, don't confuse those two. I'm really, really curious what my comment section is going to say on this video when I post it after streaming today. I mean, I was so excited to talk about this topic that I already made the thumbnails and all the prerequisites and all that for YouTube and Rumble. By the way, guys, since this is going to be on YouTube, I opened up a Rumble channel. And I have it posted in the Discord, so if you want to know more about that, I will post my Rumble link in the both in the chat and in the Discord later. And if you guys want to join my Discord, all you got to do is go to my X page and figure that out and find it. And I'm curious to know what you all think about this because I am absolutely pissed at this. I am so upset by this. I don't like this. This is stupid. This is going to be dumb. This is going to be dumb. And you're doing it in the name of kids, which is just false. And it's so false that it's transparent and it's stupid. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys on YouTube and Rumble. Thank you guys if you guys are watching this on YouTube. Hit that like button, please. And I'll see you guys in the next one.